Trust me, I'm having technical difficulties. I told he was having power issues with loosened wires, and then blah blah blah, and then he reset it. I'm like, well, I'm in the middle of class. Please don't touch anything. So, let's see. So today, what we're going to do, and I actually have some other stuff for y'all too, but today I'm taking the content, all the 20-something pages of content that we created, all that's already installed. And so now we're just basically going to go into the menu, put everything in a siloed the way we want it, and then interlinking and show you kind of my process and everything like that. So this is a new face, Chris.
What's up, man? How we doing?
Doing good. What's the last name?
Zary. I'm trying to get on, man. I'm actually working late tonight, so I'm like, let me hop on. You know,
okay.
I always think I'm going to watch a replay, and then life happens, and you know.
Yeah, I hadn't seen you before. I was like, this guy looks kind of familiar. You're not in ClickFunnels, are you?
I don't know. I'm in so many groups and so many things. I don't use ClickFunnels, but I'm sure I'm in something of it.
Yeah, you kind of look like this guy in ClickFunnels. So
yeah,
it is. I'm in that I'm in that group in High Level and a couple other ones. So
we've chatted a few times, you know, but I'm sure you chat with a million people. So
yeah.
I know how
yeah. So let's pull this up real quick. There, I'm gonna give y'all this little tidbit. So for your let me pull it up for your, remember the location pages? So I now have a kind of like a doc that I put together for everybody. It's a stack. Basically, I, put step 1, H1, H2, H3, step 2, services, step 3, surrounding areas, step 4, places to go, things to do, step 5, weather, step 6, embed maps, step 7, state links, high DA links, and I'm going to give y'all the widget to use to embed on your location pages. And it's in the chat box, so if you miss it, there it is. And we're going to go over, we're going to actually be setting up location pages. You'll see the whole process once we're done with the content here on the Havoc website. Let me get it open and we'll get ready to go. Let's see here, share screen. We are recording. All right, so can you see my screen? Just raise your hand. All right, so we're going to get started. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Do not, unmute yourself. You get a bunch of angry old men. And, at the end of the session, like always, we'll answer as many questions as we can. So all the content, here's all the content we added. It's like 21 pages. Now what we got to do is, one of my most unfavorite things is mess with Divi, but this site is in Divi, but it is what it is. And we're going to go into each one of the pages we created and basically create the linking and embed the images like we talked about. So first things first, we'll go into this one right here. I believe this is the one we already had embedded, but I'm going to make sure this is the one that we had set up with the embedded image. So we're going to go into each one of them, for instance, on this one in particular. And I have a list, and I'm going to show you the list. It's underneath my location stack because I was editing it today. I go in and I go to Google, and this is how I quote unquote get my information. I'll go Frederick, Maryland government sites, right? So that's how complicated it is for me to get the government websites, the government or high DA authority type proximity sites that I'm looking for. I believe it was, I want to say Ruben sent me an example of this earlier today. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know if I overdid it.
Yeah, I was looking. It's actually, I like it. So, and they're ranking organically. So on the bottom, he doesn't have location pages, which explains why he's not ranking in the maps. But, and he's
I don't
also,
have a GMB either. So
he doesn't have any of that. So, but he
it's a
does
newer
have it.
site.
Yeah, he does have at the bottom. He has all his area or government type, or let's say parks and all that type of crap down here in the very bottom. If y'all see it, y'all see my screen. It's for Palm Beach pavers. Shake your head. Okay. So all these go to different websites. Like if I open up this link, it opens up into town of Mangonia, whatever that is. Never heard of it, but whatever. He's got it linked to different places: South Palm Beach, Florida, different government locations. It doesn't have to be necessarily gov sites, just a city page or something that leads to something about government or the news or local newspapers, stuff like that. So for our case, we could go Frederick, Maryland government sites. We could go Frederick, Maryland newspaper. And then I could grab this and go copy that link, and I drop that link over here with all my other stuff, so I want y'all to see kind of how we get it. This is legacy. This is a Frederick News Post. This is obituaries. I'm not necessarily grabbing obituaries. News Post. I already got the News Post. This is Frederick County News. Let's grab that one. Just kind of want to show you what we're going for. So in my cheat sheet, if you will, these are all the links I'm going to kind of be placing around on these pages. Besides, obviously, hey, Devon, I'll get to you in a second. Besides, obviously, interlinking between my own pages, these are some of the links I'll use throughout the website. These are going to be some of the links I'll use on my location pages. It's going to be some of the links I'll use just throughout the site. I don't want to go crazy with it. All right. Well, I mean, crazy for me. If I was to take this and put this on every single page, like he's got in the footer, to me, that's just idiotic. I wouldn't have done that, because on top of it, you're going to be leading all these people away from your website. I would put it sporadically throughout the website instead of all just on one damn area. Now if it works for you, great. He is on page 1. He's at the bottom of page 1 for his term. So I mean, I see it works, but I just don't necessarily want to put it on something that's going to be on every single page. Like if I jump down to here, he's on, it's in every footer. So with our case, when we're taking these links, we're going to use internal linking, and I'll use one link, one external link per page. I'm not going to go and drop 30 links on one page and do that on every single page. Devon, did you have a question?
You answered it. I was going to ask about putting it in the footer versus throughout like location pages.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Let me go ahead and ask. Go ahead, Brock.
I was just going to clarify. You said you're not going to dump like 30 something outbound links on a page, but that's disregarding or with the exception to GMB linking that you're doing.
Correct.
Okay, cheers.
Let me make sure. Yesterday I was not recording the whole time, so I want to make sure I'm recording. We are recording, so we're good. Any other questions? Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm your one per page would be the math on it. So 50
That's
page
basically
site,
all that's all I'm going to do is like, I'll take so when we're researching before we're going to start doing any interlinking or anything like that, for my off page links, I'll go through just in Google, Frederick newspapers, Frederick news, Frederick County news, stuff like that. And just grab some of the high DA type links, grab some Wikipedia links, some legacy links, some just links, newspaper links, classified links, stuff like that, and put them in our case, just a notepad, like I don't go back to it, but in a notepad like this, and it basically just I'll constantly go back and forth to that. So I use that to make my life easy before I start going into the pages. So yeah, just one per, I would personally would just do one per page, nothing crazy. I mean, if you want to go crazy, that's up to you. I just don't see any, I don't see any reason to do it. Always when you're linking these, and I'll show you how, always make sure they open up in their own separate link. Kind of, that's one thing he did do right on this other site that I would have done. If you go to Palm Beach Pavers at the very bottom, he doesn't have these where they just take you away from the site. They open up in a new window. So that's one thing I would definitely do. That way they're not going to, you're still getting the DA, but they're not going to take them away from your website. So go ahead, Lou, and then I'm going to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, just I blast my page with like a little Wikipedia entry, and that's usually that's got 5 to 10 outbound links. So is that a no?
No, that's fine. Wikipedia is fine. I'm just saying you do Wikipedia and you just, as long as you have them open up in an external link, it's fine. Just don't ever have it take them away from their website. Go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, I was just confused because I did a bunch of location pages after you had shown us, you know, some of your sites that you did and all that. And so I have like things to do and, you know,
No,
links.
that part is fine. That part
okay.
is fine. You know, things.
So that's more than
things
one
to
link.
do. Sorry, things to do, places to go, totally different things. So what we're going to do, I've just kind of been showing y'all an overview. What we're ultimately going to do in this class is I'm breaking down everything. Like today is going to be, okay, internal linking. How do we get it? And then when we go to do location page, I'm going to show you exactly how I do every single thing. So as far as the location page, same thing with backlinking. I'm going to show you my process. How do I prospect for backlinking? Where do I get backlinks? Everything. And broken backlinks, you know, mentions and stuff like that. So, but nevertheless,
this one page, but one link per page thing is just for the interlinking on regular pages.
Yeah, because then it's kind of impossible to do on the other one. On the other one with actual location pages, the whole point is to, you know, link out as much as freaking possible. And when you run those audit reports, they're going to say, you got too many outbound links, and I ignore them. And I just heard from, I believe it was Search Journal. I believe Jeff sent me something in which basically all the gurus on there, of course, said, yeah, outbound links don't matter. I was like, duh. You know, and then they also said, doesn't matter how long your meta title is, which is one of the things I've tell people all the time to ignore. And everybody says, oh, no, you should ignore them. Once again, the gurus finally came out and said, doesn't matter how long it is. Matter of fact, it even helps your SEO. So go figure.
Do you follow your outbound links or do follow them?
I do follow everything. If anything I put on my website, I'm doing it for a reason. So I don't ever, it's like, for instance, I go against the grain in the same sense. I don't say no index probably 99% of everything on this on our website. I index everything, categories, authors, tags, all of it. The only thing I'll no index usually is going to be obviously the WordPress content files. Anything other than that, if it's a login, of course, stuff like that. But if it's even, you can optimize even your privacy in terms of service, and you can still optimize those. But that's, you know, I don't really want those indexed if you want to be particular. So we got our content installed. We got some posts, some GMB posts. Sometimes also, FYI, you'll do posts and you'll do these interlinks inside your posts. And then what happens is Google, depending on it honestly depends on the location, depends on the area, depends on multiple things. They may go, stop it, and I reject your post. And then as soon as I take out any links, they go, okay, it's cool. And for me, it's like, no, it's not cool because it's getting rid of all my link juice. And then you have to put it in just the learn more button instead of in the actual text. But nevertheless, that's for our post video if you haven't watched it on GMB posts, how to create them and everything else. Always, you know, and if you ever want to go back and see how you set them up, go back to Havoc Frederick Pro and you can see how to set them up. If you want to see it, I'll take this link and I'll drop it into, when we're done, I'll drop it into the group chat. Let me admit him. I'll drop it in there for y'all now, that one. So that's the GMB posts. So I need those. And for instance, what I will try my damnedest to do is whenever I'm mentioning, for instance, 24-hour emergency service, I try to find one that says 24-hour emergency service. I'm not going to do it in this case because this website's already, this page is already ranking. So that was as of, we did this on the Thursday and it was ranking by the weekend. So I'm not messing with it. So that's that page. Then the next page we're going to look at, you know, this has one link in it. What we could do, we're going to go in here and we're going to hit enable visual builder, right? Am I particular in any of these links I'm going to use? No, I'm not. Not when it comes to the external high DA authority links. I'm not. Sometimes I will be if I can find, for example, electrical permits or electrical permit, building permit, stuff like that. I'll use that and drop them in there, but I'm not going to be that particular. So for instance, this is emergency repair service. Ultimately, we're going to have emergency repair. You see this page right here. In my brain, I just go, okay, well, these two should obviously be linked together because they're emergency repair. I mean, it's a lot of times people try to complicate this and say, well, you need to, you know, do everything this way. And for me, it's just logic. I don't want to put it necessarily with heating service or installation service. Let's put it with emergency repair. Now, you may be on another page. Let's say you're on air conditioning repair and it mentions the word emergency repair service. Then you interlink to the emergency repair service. You take that text and interlink it. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you how we interlink. For this, for instance, yeah, someone's messaging on chat. I can access Google Posts from the link. It's because I don't know if it's because you're in UK, but I'll double check. Maybe it's because it might be because that links, because when I'm logged in, it's showing you the business post. So once I'm off here, I'll actually, you know, show you the actual link. So there's multiple things we can do with this page, right? This is emergency repair services. We can give this thing multiple, there's so many outbound links or interlinking I could do. So for example, I know I already have air condition repair services, furnace repairs. I created all these pages, right? So I could literally go, for instance, let's emergency repair services. You just simply in Divi, let me let these people in. In Divi, you simply highlight it and you see this little linking here. You just, you know, you drop your URL in there. Let's go back over here. In Elementor, it's a little bit easier, but we'll go back here and get some of these pages so we can start interlinking. So this is air conditioning. See, in Divi, let me show you the difference. In Divi, I'm not used to using as much, but what happens is I can't just simply type and it pulls up the link, right? In Elementor, you could simply type it in and it'll pull it up. So we're going to go back to here and I'm going to find my, if you will, my air conditioning repair page. And then we're going to interlink it. Okay. So you'll see them back here. We have air conditioner repair service. We can go view that page. I'm sure someone that uses Divi can show you how. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hate Divi. I hate it. I hate it. It is what it is, though. That's what they had. So that's what we're going to deal with. So air conditioning repairs. interlinking, right? Done. It's not a matter, it's just a matter of you take and highlight the text you want, get the link, which we did, interlink, enter, and now when you click on it, it will go over to the new page, right? So that one's done. You could do the same thing. We go to furnace repairs. Personally, I only do a few of them. I don't like doing a whole lot of them. Just make sure that, and you can check this with Hrefs. Hrefs will enable you to be able to say, okay, how many pages are orphan page? An orphan page is what page does not have any interlinking whatsoever. You always want to have some form of interlinking. So that's what we're going through right now. Water repairs. So do we have, yes, water heater installation repair service. We click on view. How many of y'all in here just by messenger on chatbot or on the chat area, how many of y'all actually use Divi versus people that use other builders? I would like to see how many of y'all actually use Divi versus, yep, Divi, 1, 2, Divi. No way, Jose. Yeah, I agree, Devon. Yeah, oxygen I wouldn't touch with a 9-foot pole. Only reason I wouldn't use oxygen, FYI, everybody, because everybody says it's wonderful, it's amazing, and then I've taken oxygen websites and thrown them into the speed test and everything, and they're usually D's or F's because they're too bloated. Same thing with oh, I know all about Dreamweaver, trust me, that's what I grew up on. Divi's way too bloated. I've checked them both out. Usually I don't like them. Comes with way too much stuff. You want to hear something funny about Wix? Everybody knows I don't like Wix, but Wix actually reached out to me, believe it or not, wanted to work with me. Said I was an ideal agency to work with. And I was like, you obviously have not done your research. I just found it funny. I almost got on the phone call. I'm serious. And if you don't think I'm serious, I'll show you. It's funny as shit. I couldn't believe this.
We believe you, man.
Wanted to start sending me leads. I said, you could send me leads, but what's going to wind up happening? I'm going to wind up telling them to get the hell off of Wix. So nevertheless, so we did our interlinking for our quote unquote other pages and our internal pages and stuff like that. Now we'll grab, let's go over this, I'm going to grab this one right here, Frederick County, Maryland.gov. And we're going to take that and drop it in here. Give me 1 second. See, in Frederick County, there's a couple of things we could do too. And I'll show you. Because in the very bottom of our page here, you'll notice this is we provide our HVAC repair services everywhere in and around Frederick County, Montgomery County, Howard County, Carroll County. Those are all the counties near Frederick. Only reason I know is because I used to live in Maryland. I hate that area. I won't live there ever again, obviously, because that's where my ex lives at. But nevertheless, you have a bunch of different counties. This is down here. So we could link out to here. We could link out to here, here, and here. But we just want Frederick, honestly. So once again, choose the link, paste it. I'm going to admit this person, Marson. So now that's linked out as well, right? So we got those links all on this page. So we got an internal link, we got an external link. I got a GMB mentioned. This is how I would, if you will, link stack my pages and how I optimize my pages. This is just how I do it. However you want to do it, it's up to you. But this is what I do. I put a minimum of one inner link, a minimum of one outer link, and a minimum of one picture, a minimum of one form. You obviously see this on every page. A minimum of a call to action. This we could link to. You can link this over to the actual page, contact us page if you wanted. Another thing we'll do here, which they should have done, is going to be, add the phone number in 301. I just have my personal preferences. It's nothing against Divi or nothing like that. It's just, to me, it's a pain in the butt to deal with some of them. Now, snaps is what I've been hearing from Lou and Devon, and they've kind of perked my curiosity with that. To get this to be call to click, you just enter and tell, and then the phone number, and that's telling them, hey, whenever someone, goes to quote unquote, click this number, it should be callable. So just FYI. And another thing you can do, you can make this a big red button, big green button. That's another thing we could do as well if you wanted to do that as well. I'm not you could go in here. Like I've already told you, I'm not really a Divi guy, so I'm going to do the best I can with Divi. But you could take a call to action button and put a nice big green button here. Once we have the nice big green button, instead of being text, I like the buttons. Mainly, that's one thing Jeff's also taught me about. I've learned, picked up over the years, is buttons. People love them. Same thing with this. Well, while I'm changing this will be a button instead of text because it doesn't jump out. You want it to just pop out, basically. Every time you go to scroll, I want that damn button to be like in your face. So, but this is how we do the interlinking on this page, right? That's just this page right here. Then once we do this, I'm going to show you how we're going to take all those new pages and then we're going to silo them. So in Divi, you click these nice little lovely little buttons down here and click save, make sure it saves it. And now once we've saved it, we're good to go. We can exit the visual builder and our interlinking and all that jazz is done. You see your Frederick, Maryland down here, and then your furnace. These are all headers, so they're not going to be green. So you're not going to be, oh, let me click on this and go away from the page because it's already a header. Okay. We could change that if we want to, but not necessary. Let me go over here to some questions. Go ahead, Andy.
Could you also just add 3 popular blog posts to that page?
Yep.
And would that be sufficient for?
Yep. We could do that in Elementor. I know how to do it, and we're going to do that. I'm going to have my coder actually do it, but at the bottom of the pages on number 2, we can't do it because obviously we ain't got no damn blogs, because I got to write some blogs and get some content like I would want. But basically at the bottom of those pages, you could silo and put specific blogs about emergency repair. Like when winter storms come through, hey, we had this happen, and then you can silo your specific blog categories on each page. Like you don't want air conditioning to be on the heater page. So you'd want to feature those specific blogs, kind of like upsells on a e-commerce website. So go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, how much do you worry or don't worry about embedding videos on any of these pages for a local business? Since it,
if you have them, so this is if you have them, we're gonna have all that shit by the time we're done. But if you have them, I would embed one video on every single page that I ever have, if I have it. Right. But not all. 99.9% of the people will never have it. They just won't. This guy's going to have it because I'm getting to do anything and everything I want to it. That's number one. With our agencies, with our pricing and our price sheet, what I do, we do one informational video a month per client. So we'll take those and use those in all of our G stacks, cloud stacks, all the stuff. And then we'll start adding them as long as the client allows us to into the web page. Because some of them will be like, well, I don't want it. Because they're honestly, they're not, I'm using them just pure SEO purposes, not for someone to sit there and watch them. And just like, for instance, I could give you, for instance, on the YouTube. Now, mind you, if they actually have videos where, you know, they actually have made them, they're professionally made, that's one thing. But these I'm using specifically for my G stacks, which is just this. But I'm just doing that sheerly because I want to put them inside of the G stacks and the cloud stacks and then point links to them and get some high juice going to them. I'm not going to put that type of a video on the web page. The videos I'd want them to actually put on a web page are going to be professionally done videos, less than a minute, nothing any longer. And, you know, I don't see a problem with it. Matter of fact, if anything, it will help you make sure you put them on YouTube, optimize them, and then use the video on the web page from YouTube. Do not actually host the video on your hosting. Go ahead, Robbie.
On your links that you just put into the page,
Mhm.
normally they bold the link and underline it to show you that it's a link, but you don't necessarily want people clicking on it. You just want Google to see it's there. Is that correct?
Yeah, and see if you notice as well on my, and I'll show you, you can bold the link, you can do all that craziness. But that's also kind of the point. I've done most of it already. Call us anytime. Your headers, these headers are already linked. That's what we're doing. Like, then you have all these are already bolded because we're using H1 and H2 and H3 headers. We're not just going, a lot of people go, let me just bold all this text. A black hat tactic used to be, we'd just take a bunch of damn text, you could make it invisible, or we'd go, let's take all this text and this, you know, bold it and hyperlink every last bit of it. You know, another black hat tactic that's still done is you take text and make it invisible, put it behind an image, or use CSS to put it outside of the viewable aspect of your page. So, but it's not necessary, you know, it's just not. Let's see.
So the links you're putting on there, you aren't putting them on there for people to click
Nope.
onto. Is that correct?
Nope.
So
don't
you
want
don't
them to click.
Got it. Okay.
I'm using it just to increase proximity signals and tell Google, hey, the site's about Frederick, Maryland. And we're linked to local authorities on Frederick, Maryland, government authorities in particular, in Wikipedia. Go ahead, Wayne.
So would you also make a GMB post?
I can barely hear you, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Would you also make a GMB post on that page?
That's what this is. Yes, sir.
Got it.
So that's a GMB post. One of the reasons why we made the content, and then we also made these posts. So how do I grab a post? Once again, I've shown you all this before, but you're not going to take the text and all this pretty, you know, jazzy stuff. You're just wanting to grab the post. You're going to hit copy image, and then you paste it. You can open the image and see the URL. And now if you hit copy image and just hit Control V whenever you're pasting it into the Havoc page or whatever page you're working on, it will paste it. You know, I could show you all that again so you see it. We grab it, we go copy image. We go down here, and obviously I won't save this one because I've already done it. All right, Control V, and it's there. Right. And I've had people say, well, that's not going to be your actual image. That's not going to be on Google, but it actually is, because if you actually open that image or see where it's, you know, inspect it. I'm waiting on my internet to catch up because it's slow. So if you open this image, open image in new tab, this is Google user information with your machine ID and CID stuff. So Google, and I've had people say this, well, the Google posts are only live for, I'll give you an example. They're only live for 7 days, so you don't need to post them every day of the week. Well, you're right, Mr. Expert. that they're only live for 7 days, i.e. live for 7 days means they're featured. That's what it means. They're featured. Okay. But what happens to all these posts when they're not featured? Well, they still stay in this magical little area in the back end of Google. Google's not going to delete them, right? Another little area it goes to as well is down here. You see what we're doing? We're populating our G site or our business Google site with all our damn posts. So there's a reason why we are going to be quote unquote creating posts every day. It's not just to create posts because we ain't got nothing better to do with our time. It's because we're going to use them in our actual, pages. We're going to use them in blogs. Then on top of it, we're using them to populate our Google site. We're doing it for multiple reasons. And then on top of it, like I've told y'all before, you can backlink to them. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, I just wondered if you had a source for your video creation that you could share.
The little short one that we just did. That's the little short one that I did. That's literally just we're using Canva and it's the VA doing it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And
then just one other.
All in-house and all agencies get one of those per month per client. So.
Gotcha. Just one other comment I had was on the outbound links. I always open in a new tab, but whereas with the internal links, I always just leave them not open in a new tab.
As I said, whenever we're linking out to all these, we want it to be external linked. And then once we do that, then we're good. Let's see here. So that's how we do. I mean, these pages right here. Now we're going to go through, literally, I'm going to have them go through all 20 something pages. We're going to do the same thing on the rest of the 20 something pages. Once we're done with that, then we're going to start location pages. On Monday, we're going to create an actual location page. We're going to go through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and how I stack it. We're going to actually create one and you're going to see it together. Then I'm going to be able to send that over to you as a template. So this is basically my template right here. It's just H1, H2, H3, services, surrounding areas, places to go, things to do, etc. And then also we're going to next week, we're going to take all these service pages. Once all the interlinking's done, we're going to take the services, all these new services, you'll see them. We're going to silo them in the menu. And then once we silo them in the menu, then we're going to add all these services to the home page. On the home page right now, you see basically, let's say 300-400 words. When I'm done with it, I'll have 1,500 plus. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take snippets of each service, put it on the homepage with a featured image from the blog roll, or not the blog roll, but the GMB post. We could use GMB posts or we can use regular images. I just prefer to use the GMB posts because I think they're pretty powerful stuff. So mainly because I've used them and I see how it works. Let's see. Is it harmful to have link color? Not really. The reason why you want to change the link color is, are you wanting them to go to that page? That's the main reason. To make my generic, I'm just answering some of these questions, guys. So, yep, I'm actually just starting to use that one because I have a client that's all they use. Snaps, I haven't tried yet. You could send me that information if you'd like, but I'm not in particular on switching over to anything. Generic SEO videos, I specifically just use Canva, and that's it. I mean, Canva and my in-house staff does it. And yep, Vidinamia. And then also have Video Blaster. Then also once you create those videos, this is not what the class is about, but once you create those videos, you're going to post them on multiple sites. Like I gave y'all a list of video sharing sites, same thing with article sharing sites. You want to take that information and populate it out as much as possible. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, William, where'd you get those nice photos for your GMB posts? Those are, if that's stock, those look really good.
All stock. That's on Dreamstein.
Dreamstein.
Dreams Time. I'll send it over to you.
Is that like a monthly subscription thing, or do you just buy per
You
image?
can buy monthly or one-offs, and I've been using that since probably 10 years now. And I'll show you the pricing and everything. So,
and somebody asked about videos too. That the guy that was on from YouTube, you recommended Magisto. That's pretty good. It's like $12 a month.
Good. Canva has some of its own video stock already in there, but this is Dreams Time. And that's where I usually get my stock from. Mind you, these are in pesos. 50 pesos is $1. So you're talking, if you got credits, this is basically, let's say $10. This is about $20. So it's not that bad. It's not that expensive. And then whenever you're looking at your stock, which one you want, for example, and you choose, let's say, an image like this or this image right here, you don't have to go over here and let me get the biggest image there is. You could get something that's like this, 800 by 363, 480 by 218, but preferably around 800 by 363 is what I stick at, so it doesn't get too expensive either. And that's where I get my images from. And then on top of it, I also tell all of our agencies, all of our clients, please send me 10 photos per month at minimum. If you send me those 10 photos, I can then upload them to your client's GMB, and then I can also use them in their GMB posts. If you do not, I cannot do that aspect of GMB optimization, nor can I use them in your GMB posts, and I have to use stock. And some agencies are very particular about it because their clients are very particular about it, and they want very specific images being used. So it's up to them to provide the pictures and images. So, but that's about it. I mean, shoot me some questions. Any questions? I know a bunch of y'all had a bunch of questions for me. So fill up my email box. So you got any questions, let me know. If you need a meeting after the course, after class today, let me know. That way we can go ahead and schedule it and everything. So,
William, I had one question.
Yep.
Around this is separate from this topic, but GMB optimization. When you list your services in the GMB, you go into detail in describing those services with the keywords.
You're talking about, and we might just have to go ahead and go through an full on optimization, because I have an audit sheet, and basically based off that audit sheet, like I said, I don't just do things a little bit different. First off, I go, let's find the number one person that's a HVAC repair person, or whatever industry you're in, whatever niche you're in the area you're wanting to rank for. What are they doing? That's the first thing I want to know. What categories are you using, what services you're using, what type of text are you using, long text, short text, what services are they mentioning, what categories are they in, how many posts they got, all that information. And then based off of that, that's what I base everything I would do off of. I don't just go, oh, I provide these services, let me list them there, which I understand why people do that, but I reverse engineer everything I do when it comes to the competition.
Is there a way to competition services on their GMB?
It's all on their GMB usually. And then on top of it, when I use GMB Crush shows me all their categories. So
yeah, but it doesn't show the products or services descriptions.
I think I know what you're talking about now, but we'll do one. I'll do one in very specific so we can go through it, and I'll show you what I do. Go ahead and go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I definitely want to have a meeting after class. So I threw it in the chat just to make sure.
Yep, I'll get with you. I'll send you I'll send you a link. Anybody else want to have a meeting while I'm on here with you, let me know. Naos, I know you wanted one, because I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm going to the beach with them today because they want to go to the beach.
We wish we could go to the beach.
Yeah, I hate the beach. I honestly don't like the beach.
I am from Greece. I have to love the beach.
Only way I like the beach is if I'm going fishing. I could care less about it any other time. So,
my two brothers live in Mykonos, and they send me the pictures there. You know, my brother have a sound equipment company, and the other summer, like one of the angels from Victoria's Secret was doing a bachelorette, and they were renting equipment from her, and he was keep sending me pictures. I said, "Man, what are you doing? Like, leave me alone."
my wife thought I was funny all the time because we'd go to the beach. You know, if we went to the beach, they would want to go to the beach, and she wants to break out that she has a tent, and let's eat on the beach, and all this other crap. And I'm like, dude, I'm going by the fishing store. I'm getting my shit, and I'm out of here. Once I didn't want no one around me, no one. When I'm fishing, I'm like, listen, you know the best thing about having a kayak? I can put one person in it. That's it. Away from everything. But I'd go to the beach on my kayak and, and I don't like the beach. And then on top of it, after class, I got to go pick up, have a guard dog that we're picking up today. So, let's see real quick, please.
I like talking about the beach, but I got one quick question about
Go
linking.
ahead.
Just wanted to confirm, what interlinking do you do to the homepage, if anything at all?
Once we actually do the homepage, you'll see that next week. But basically, the homepage, you have the homepage is going to have snippets about, let's say, HVAC emergency repair, AC repair, and it's going to have an image, and it's going to say read more.
Right.
Or let's say learn about our HVAC services. Click on it, and that will be linked to the actual page.
And then the service pages or location pages back to the home page, negative or yes?
You can do that, like in the very bottom in the footer. You could put in the footer, you could put all your locations and then have all the location pages linked out. You could do that. Is it necessary?
Okay.
Not really. Not once you do these pages. And here's another one. A lot of people will call location pages doorway pages. They are doorway pages when you don't do them right. When you don't do them right, they're doorway pages. Doorway page basically means it's a useless page with a bunch of information that's duplicated. Same information on every page. And Google sees that and they won't index it when it's an actual doorway page. When you do it the way I'm showing y'all, it's not a doorway page, and they will be indexed, because I've seen people, like I've said before, they try to do it without all that information, then they get no indexed, and they're a doorway page because they're duplicated content. So,
right.
Nevertheless, cool. Robbie, go ahead.
Back to the GMB, uploading the pictures. Should you do like 1 a day or 10 a month, or what's the
I do 10 a month. I just don't go crazy and go, let me upload 1,000 today, or let me upload 50 today. Even let me upload 10, and that's about it, and that's generally over a month's period of time. So
perfect. Thank you.
Yep. I'm just looking through some questions I'm getting online real quick. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I have a question, William. Do you using any particular fonts in the websites you build?
I have lead generated forms, but no, I do not. I don't. When not rank and rents, yes. On clients or agency sites, no. I would recommend using specific forms on any WordPress website that is not a WordPress form, or that is a paid service, because what tends to happen with most of these forms, if you've done any of this, is you're going to get deluged with spam. Anytime you use a lot of these free forms, even when you put a CAPTCHA on it, you're going to get deluged with spam. Because even with a CAPTCHA, there are CAPTCHA fulfillment services where they'll go in and do the spam, and it automatically generates a CAPTCHA. I know it because I use the service. I mean, I know very much what people do. And then what you can do, when I use Patrick's on lead generated, I get 0 spam, none. but it's a paid service for which I pay, I forget how many, couple $100 a month that I pay for it. And I can create forms and put them on various pages, various websites, stuff like that. I just don't do it. One of my agencies, he does it, and I believe he uses high level as well to do it. But it's not something I do because most people aren't going to want to pay for a contact form service. So I just tell them hit the magical delete button unless you want to, you know. That's all you
I said forms, but you heard form. But what you said it was also,
forms. I said
I said forms, but what you said, it was also very useful.
Yeah.
So never mind.
What was the question then?
If you're using any special fonts when you design your website, fonts.
No,
like
so it depends on the client. I mean, honestly, what I do whenever we design the site, I'm actually doing another course, which I mentioned the other day, is on web design, because some business owners want to know web design. So I'm going to take them and say, here's Elementor, here's a template, I'm going to give you the structure of what I would do. Here's a header, here's a footer, here's a body, and now let's build a site. And I'll show you how easy it is in Elementor. I could spit out a damn website in less than an hour, you know, then obviously get content done. But what we normally do with websites, I go to you and say, hey, show me 3 websites your client likes and why. Is it the colors, is it structure, is it functionality, what is it? And then I create something based off of that. And I can pull off what font is this site using through another plugin too. So go ahead, Lou.
Yeah. So William, when it comes to the service pages, are you targeting new keywords in there different than your, service pages?
My service pages are targeting.
When it comes to your service area, I mean, is it the same keywords, or are you introducing new keywords?
So we're gonna actually do that together. Once I get these service pages all interlinked and everything, and then we're gonna do the home page, right? And then after you do the home page, we're going to do a location page. And the location page, I'm going to be honest with you, this is what a location page is. Everything I put on a home page, right? I put all these blurbs about all these services and all these links. I duplicate that entire home page and create a location page off of it and just optimize it and throw in some of the headers. I change them to be that specific location. And what makes it not a doorway page or duplicate content is all the stuff I put at the very bottom. So it's once you get that one page done, the only work you're doing is doing all that crap at the bottom, because that's a lot of work. Some pages you'll do a service area be 4 pages, and I can do suburbs that have hundreds. I mean, hundreds. Let's say Brisbane or Sydney. I mean, it's a lot of work when you have to do it that way. But nevertheless, it's literally, once these pages are interlinked, then we're going to do the home page. And after we do the home page, then we're going to do a location page together. That way y'all have literally a template, really. And once you have perfect. And then once you have that template, I can show you in Elementor how to, if you were the same type of business or something, you could actually export that template, import it in Elementor, and just have to change out the data at the bottom. Same structure, same everything. But go ahead, Marcin. Also, by the way, thank you for that lead. If they let me know, I'll let you know, Marcin. But I haven't heard.
You can message him as well, and he will go with you for sure. And anyway, my question is about when you're adding the picture to the post, do you put the keywords in the name of the file of the picture and like coordinates, like a GPS?
Nope.
Why?
Why don't I? Because I'll give you an example. That one page I created it on a Thursday. It was ranking on page 1 by Monday. I don't think it's necessary. Now if I made the page and it wasn't ranking, I'd see why it's necessary. And number 2, the other big one, for if you're talking about specifically geotagging pages and you upload it into Google.
No. You didn't understand my question. I'm asking about the pictures, geotagging pictures.
Yeah, geotagging the picture.
Yeah.
It's worthless. I mean, you can geotag it and then you're going to upload it into the website or upload it onto Google.
I'm talking uploading to the Google.
It'll strip it. It won't be there.
Okay, so if I use
the only way I've ever seen it might, and I've heard people say it with Local Viking, this is another thing, is they'll say, well, if you do it with an API, the geotagging will stay there. And I can tell you, Brock has tested this and so has others, and no, it is not. Even with the API, it is all stripped out by Google.
Okay, this actually was my question about this Viking, because the people were saying it's not striping this info. So you're saying somebody test.
Brock, who I had on the other day, has thoroughly tested and will guarantee you it strips it out. And it's one other thing I've tested and it strips it out. I've asked them, show me. And they'll never do it. So API doesn't matter. Google strips it out. They used to not. You could buy, you could buy these programs and optimize it and put all this data in there and everything. I've just never seen it not been stripped out. So I used to be a proponent of it and say, yes, it's good. And even in my ebook, I'm 900% sure I mentioned geotagging. I don't really push it too much anymore. You'll never really hear me say, here's some images, go geotag them, go keyword stuff them and all that other craziness. You can, but I just don't think it's going to help you any. So, let's see. So yeah, they just emailed me about this. So in the web design course that I'm going to do, it's only going to be 5 days. That 5-day course, as soon as I get 10 people that say, hey, I want to do it, I'm at like 6 now. As soon as y'all want to do it, I'll do it, because it's just going to be an hour a day for 5 days. It will be in y'all's morning time on the East Coast of the USA. And basically it's just going to be, here's how you buy a domain name. Here's how you set up hosting. Here's how we install Elementor. Here's how we install Astra. And here's how we create header, footer, body, and how we do all the various aspects and how easy it is. It will take me literally an hour a day. By the time I'm done with it, you should be a website wizard, in my opinion. I learn stuff all the time still, but Elementor, website should take you a day at most. And that's not counting, obviously, all the damn location pages. But if you have the content and everything, you could create your basic, let's say, 10-page website in a day or less. So any other questions? I'm going to get off here. And I will be seeing you, Sean and Neos, after this.
Hey, I got a question. When you post like a blog post onto other sites like Blogger, etc., do you just post the exact content from the blog, or do you spin it?
Exact content.
Okay.
I've heard other people like Chris Palmer say you should change, like even on citations, he says you should change your description. I just don't think I don't see it affecting it. But if Chris says it, and I trust what Chris says, but I've just not tested it enough to say, hey, it's worth the effort, because you got to imagine 400 something damn citations. You're going to spin it and change it every time you do it. I don't think so.
You don't pay a penalty on the duplicate content when you're going to go to Blogger and just.
Well, here's what my humble opinion of what is duplicate content. So duplicate content is someone else has the original content on a Havac website. It's a Havac blog, and I copy it from their site and I put it on my site. That is what duplicate content means. On top of it, that is plagiarism. So you got two things you need. It's duplicated and it's plagiarized. For me, I want, what is the purpose of citations? What is the purpose of backlinks and everything is you need, in my opinion, quote unquote, duplicate content. What you're saying is duplicate content. To me, it's saying, hey, this is a popular article. Let me put it all over these different places. What do you think, for example, different news websites do? They take the same blog or same article or same news piece and they put it on multiple news outlets. They don't, let me go change it because I'm putting on this new news outlet. It's the same content. So I'll take a blog, and here's the one thing I will do this different, is I'll take a blog and I'll post 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, and then I'll take that blog, all 4 blogs, combine them as one, and I'll put them out as a press release, as a 2,000 plus word press release, and then I'll hyperlink them back to the GMB post, put schema in there, and then also, and I can show you one, and then also the blog links as well. I mean, there's a bunch of, let me see if I have it. There's a bunch of things that we can do with our press wires that we do. And if you've seen this, I'll show you. Let me show you. If you see it, it's like, okay, here's a real, this is one we just did. It's not a long one, but this is a quantum press wire we did, right? This is from the GMB. Here's the hyperlinks. We put these in here as well. Instead of just saying a link, I put a nice little bright yellow button, and that's linked over to the maps on Google. We use hyperlinks in here as well, of course. This is from Google. This is a GMB photo. This is another G page. Then this, and then this. Now go back to here. Here's another one we did. This is I believe it's a 2,000. I believe it's about a 2,000 word one. No, that's the short one. Where is it? Where are you at? There it is. See how long that damn thing is? That's 2,000 words. And we use multiple hyperlinks. The images are all from, obviously all from, GMB and stuff. And we use all types of links in there and everything. It's not just one link. So, okay, Marcin, last one, then I'm getting off here.
Okay. I asked you an email, but you never replied me the second time about taking the picture, let's say from other sites, or taking picture from some buying the picture, but I want to change them. So is it enough if I just little rotate them about 5-10% and then crop them? It's gonna be good enough. The Google not gonna see them as a duplicate picture from different sites.
Well, that's not so much Google I would worry about, is if you're snagging pictures from someone else's website or someone else is using, you can get your hands smacked because you're taking copyrighted content.
Okay, but
even if you flip it, it's still the same picture. Even if you crop it, it's still the same picture. In design, whenever I used to do design, because I got started in design, you need to change it almost, I believe, 80% for it to not even be considered the same content. You can't just,
I don't worry. Let's say because I bought a lot of picture and I got a lot of picture, I pay for them. So I just worried that Google gonna see them as an unique. So it's gonna be enough if I rotate them about 10% and then crop from the middle. So it's gonna be for Google different picture.
Yeah, I understand what you're meaning. So you want it to be unique content that Google picks up versus duplicate content. I don't think it's an issue to me. I mean, I use stock photos all the time. So, and then some of them we'll use and we'll put a logo on them, and some of them we'll use and we won't put nothing on them. It just depends on the layout. So.
Okay. And another question about this picture. Is it making sense to put on this picture? Let's say I'm adding 3 picture every day to GMB. Is it making sense to put the keywords as in text on these pictures?
No.
The Google don't read them?
Not in the way you're talking about. No.
Okay. And
I would only put the hyperlinks and the text and everything in the actual GMB post. I would not necessarily put it on the picture. I can tell you this, there are times when Google starts getting really picky, and if you have your logo, or if you have keywords, or if you have text, or if you have phone numbers, etc., on top of the image, Google will start rejecting your posts.
Okay. And I have a question.
Go ahead.
And I have a question about the meta title. How long? It can be as long as I wish, or the Google cut it. Let's say I put 25 words. The Google gonna cut it and not read it, the rest of the words?
Well, it's not necessarily, well, up until yesterday, I don't go crazy. I'll just tell you what I would make something that actually makes sense. Like, I'll give you an example. Baltimore, Maryland's best HVAC repair specialist. All right. If you run one of these reports, it's going to say, well, the title's too long. Google may tell you the title's too long, but then you heard John Mueller and a bunch of like 3 or 4 other SEO gurus yesterday said meta title length actually does not matter and will actually help you. But I also won't go in there and say, for example, I won't go Baltimore, Maryland's best HVAC specialist in Baltimore, Maryland, where we do HVAC repair and AC repair and every other damn HVAC repair you could think of. I won't do that because it's just idiotic to me. It's not going to help. I mean, I could put more effort into something else that's going to do you more good than a title that's going to be, let's say, 50 words long with keyword stuff to, you know, the moon and back.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, I will talk to you guys and I will see you tomorrow. If you have questions, put everything together because tomorrow is Ask Me Anything Friday. And I'll see
Thanks
you
for your
later.
time, man.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, William. I'll wait for your message.
Yep.